Very shocking story coming in from two credible tier 1 journalists, that is Fabrizio Romano and Jacobs Ben. As far as the situation of Moise Caicedo to Arsenal is concerned, you won't believe it. Arsenal agreeing about Moise Caicedo's asking price from Brighton. Welcome to Rokani Media Football. How are you guys and where are you watching us from? I go by the names of Rokani David. Smash the like button, comment and share. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Now, it's really a very good Saturday. I know we lost to City as Manchester United, but in the game of football, everything is possible. And you'd go ahead and we'd welcome every result, because the moment the game kickstarts, you obviously expect 3 results: a W, which is a win, a draw, and in the final there is always no draw because you have to go to extra time and then penalties, then a loss, which is an L. So today United got an L and City got a W. Congratulations to all City fans all over the world for winning your FA Cup. It's now a double. Next Saturday you guys have a chance to make it a treble. That's it. Treble completion. It's all about City beating Inter Milan. They do that in the Champions League finale. They equal United's record of being the only English or UK team that has ever lifted a trophy. Rokani David is my name. Smash the like button, comment and share. Don't forget to subscribe. Let's see close to 200 likes smashed onto this video. Now, Granit Xhaka was heading to Bayern Leverkusen. We all know that. But there is a giant team from the Bundesliga willing to hijack the deal of Granit Xhaka. That's it. They are going to hijack the deal. If Bayern Leverkusen doesn't strengthen up, Xhaka might end up not going that side, and obviously a deal being hijacked. And lastly, we are going to talk about Eden Hazard, who has gone ahead to really end his career at Real Madrid, as confirmed to us by Fabrizio Romano, and what is going to be his decision that is going to make as a player that plays for Real Madrid, or that was playing for Real Madrid. Now, let's start it off like this. Jacobs Ben is starting off this Caicedo situation that is really so much alarming, according to me. Jacobs Ben has said, if you are Arsenal and you go for Declan Rice, you just hope that deal is worth less than £100 million, because otherwise your Caicedo Rice output will be a large chunk of your transfer budget. Arsenal have work to do. They want to consolidate their position, and they need depth. Now, he was on the Dan Deal show, and that's where he said all of this. Now, the fact is, if you are Arsenal, and we all know that Arsenal is in need of all these players. Declan Rice, Arsenal needs Moise Caicedo, right? They need those 2 central midfielders. And if you need those 2 central midfielders, you need to balance up your budget. And how do you balance up your budget? It's always trying to see to it that you get the deal of Declan Rice below 100 million pounds. If at all you get Declan Rice at like 80, 85, or 90, that at least gives you a little bit of words to go and really compete in for the Moise Caicedo deal. And then he went ahead and really said the following, that it's complicated. I think they will escalate Rice and Caicedo, so that's a positive. But make no mistake about this, Brighton aren't saying, give us this and we will sell Moise Caicedo. If no club pushes it, then Brighton will keep the player. That's what the stance of Brighton on Moise Caicedo is. So they've not gone out to really put out a fixed fee amount of money that they need for Moise Caicedo. That's the funny bit of it, and that's why I've told you that it's shocking that Arsenal is chasing in for the player, but they don't know who exactly they are really chasing. They know exactly who they are chasing in for, but they don't know how much money is going to be called in for. Jacobs Ben had another statement to say about this situation of Arsenal not knowing the price tag. He said, no price tag, but there is a feeling that Arsenal have weakened their position of insisting on Moise Caicedo in January. Chelsea were smarter with the one offer that was lower, and then they walked away. If they are the only suitor, they can stick to a lower number. Now, Chelsea is into the mix. That's it. when you look at Arsenal being in a weaker position of really getting this deal out of the way, when you look at where Jacobs-Ben is really leaning to, you really understand that it's really right. Arsenal went ahead to make a bid of £70 million. The first bid they made that was resisted was 60. Then they made a bid of 70, and they are willing to go in and make another third bid of £80 million, but they never wanted to really damage their relationship with Mr. Bloom, the owner of Brighton, and the entire board of Brighton. So they said, all right, let's leave that in peace, and they went in for Jorginho. That's it. So you understand that now Arsenal have to go on to bargain, if at all they start off bargaining or they recommence bargaining of Moise Caicedo deal. They have to go on and really pay and really start at £80 million because they are willing to extend to that level. So the yardstick for Arsenal was set. It was £70 million, official bid put in. But it was anticipated they are willing to go ahead and really make it 80. For Chelsea, they only made £55 million. After making £55 million, they found themselves in a situation of obviously pulling out, and they went in for Enzo Fernandez and Mikhailo Modric. That is Chelsea for you. So it's all going to be about testing the waters. That's it. Then Jacobs-Ben again, as we head into the Fabrizio Romano thought about the Declan Rice to Arsenal situation. He has told us that, but if Arsenal return, there is a high possibility that Brighton can say, you offered £70 million in January, he's signed a new long contract, we've qualified for Europe, so you now have to give us, you now have to give us well in excess of £70 million. That room is there. That room is there, obviously, because as the transfer window goes on, and you don't get these deals done, it just gets mad. It just gets mad. Brighton are really going to be so much comfortable onto Moise Caicedo because his deal that he really signed is not like that of McAllister. McAllister had a buyout clause of £60 million, but Moise Caicedo has no buyout clause unless otherwise in the transfer window as it goes on, we'll find it out, But for him, he has no buyout clause, meaning that Brighton will go all out and really milk out every required penny out of his deal. So it shows you that there is a difficulty for Arsenal to see to it that they really get out of his player. But it's all going to be about how they negotiate. And Fabrizio Romano has gone ahead to conceal this again, and he has gone ahead to really add more light to what Jacobs-Ben has gone ahead to say that, contrary to reports, Arsenal have not found out Brighton is asking price for Moise Caicedo. Understand there is no asking price. It will go to negotiations. No contact from Arsenal and Chelsea since January. Third club in race 2 as per Fabrizio Romano. Now, when you look at this entire situation, Arsenal have not found out Brighton is asking price for Moise Caicedo. And when will they find out? They'll only find out if at all they really make up their mind to go on and really try to sign the player in the caliber of Moise Caicedo. And that will happen when they are negotiating a deal with Mr. Bloom, the owner of Brighton. So that is really shocking that at this juncture, Arsenal has not gone ahead to know the price of Moise Caicedo. But Arsenal really has a boost into this. They are a foot ahead into this. They've already agreed a deal with the agent of Moise Caicedo in January. And Moise Caicedo was attracted to that deal to join Arsenal. Moise Caicedo also has gone ahead to give green light to Arsenal. He wanted to play for Arsenal. So I think it's all about Arsenal going in and really negotiate with Brighton, though they don't know how much the owner of Brighton is going to go ahead and really put onto the head of Moise Caicedo. But all we can tell you is that Moise Caicedo's asking price is not known. But it will only be known if at all any club approaches Brighton on selling the player. But the beauty of all this is their manager confirmed that the player is going to leave. That's it. Him and McAllister are up for sale. They have to go to another level of playing the game of football. So let's wait and see what developers are going to come out of Moise Caicedo to Arsenal and then we'll be here letting the best out of this. Let's do a little bit of Granit Xhaka. Towards the end of the Premier League season, we all got to know that Granit Xhaka to Bayern Leverkusen is 90% complete. Ever since then, the deal has gone silent, and guess what? Sources from Germany have gone ahead to reveal to us that there might be a hijack of a player coming in from WW442 channel that Bayern Munich are looking to hijack Bayern Leverkusen's move for Granit Xhaka and have offered him a 3-year deal with the option of another year. Xhaka's preferred destination remains Leverkusen, who have a 5-year contract on the table and a coaching role after. Then that is really interesting. I think this is why he's sold onto a move to go to Bayern Leverkusen, because looks like he has been making his coaching lessons, and he's having his licenses, UEFA A, UEFA Pro, and he's just waiting for one thing to happen, that is him to go to Bayern Leverkusen. But Bayern coming in through to hijack the deal of Granit Xhaka to Bayern Leverkusen doesn't surprise me. Do you know why? Who is the manager of Bayern Munich? Thomas Tuchel. Where was he? He was in the Premier League before he got sacked by Tony Boyle. Meaning, he has been watching very many Premier League players, and he believes that if at all you are to compete into the Champions League, because even if Bayern loses the Bundesliga and they win the Champions League, they'll be very happy. The reason as to why Oliver Kahn was sacked and his other colleague from the management roles or from the technical roles of Bayern Munich, it's because Bayern has now taken how many years? I think 3 years without lifting the Champions League. They last won it in 2020, and the spell of Oliver Kahn was cut short because of that. So he has interest in Premier League players. If at all I'm hearing that he's in for Granit Xhaka, I'll understand why he's in for the player, because he knows that Premier League players are really proven, and when you bring their physicality into the Bundesliga, you'll easily pass the Bundesliga teams and obviously go into the Champions League and obviously compete at levels that no one really talks about. With the likes of Goretzka being hinted on leaving, Gravenberch is another one whose future is really uncertain at Bayern Munich. Joshua Kimmich is also really blowing hot and cold. He is not certain of his future at Bayern Munich. So you might find Bayern Munich making a very huge clear out, with Musiala coming out and obviously reacting badly to the sacking of Oliver Kahn and his friend. So there is uncertainty in the camp of Bayern Munich. That's it. So they want to make things right, and they want to bring in players that can easily come up and really match up. But I ask myself, why would you go in for a 32-year-old player? And I think even if Bayern Munich put what offer for Xhaka on the table, I don't see Granit Xhaka taking it. He won't take it. Xhaka is just going to go on and redo the needful and keep himself into the mode of going to Bayern Leverkusen as everything is done and dusted. Xabi Alonso has convinced him that come to this club. The hierarchy of the club really believe that Xabi Alonso is not going to be at this club for the next 3 or 4 years. If at all he leaves, then Granit Xhaka can take on as a manager. So they've offered him a lot, and he might find himself in a position obviously agreeing onto that. Let's go to one of the highly paid players. In the game of football, he earns £410,000 a week. That is Eden Hazard. Confirmed by Fabrizio Romano and Real Madrid that official, Eden Hazard leaves Real Madrid. Contract terminated by mutual consent. Real Madrid and Eden Hazard have reached an agreement by which the player is disassociated from the club as of June 30th, 2023. The club has gone ahead to announce. Good player gone bad. That is Eden Hazard. By the time he left Chelsea, he was one of the best players in the world. And he would anticipate that if at all he goes to Real Madrid, he was going to become the next big thing. Ever since he made that transfer, he never looked the same. He left at £80 million from Chelsea to Real Madrid. He was left with 1 year, and they scooped that huge amount of money from the transfer. Now, Hazard has looked helpless. He has looked toothless. he was nowhere near the levels of the player he was at Chelsea and when they bought him from Lyon. These are mistakes that the players really make, but you understand that it's all about his lifestyle. When you look at him, he has put on a lot of weight. He's not taking care about his body. I think that has exposed him to very many injuries at Real Madrid that have gone ahead to keep him out of the team. That Carlo Ancelotti came out and really said, I'm not supposed to pick a player. I pick players in my starting 11 that deserve to start. So there is no favoritism here, and they've been really having a very bad blood between Ancelotti and Eden Hazard. So let's wait and see how things are going to pan out for that. And I think it's going to be linked to very many clubs, but it looks like no elite club will go in for Eden Hazard. So guys, thank you very much for watching through, telling me your thoughts about Arsenal having no green lights, about Moise Caicedo's price. They are just green. They are just green. Being green is like you know nothing about something. And what do you think about it? Then Xhaka's move to Bayern Munich. Do you think he'll alter his mind to snub Bayern Leverkusen and then he crosses to Munich? That's another story I really want you to react to. And lastly, Eden Hazard. Would you welcome him to your club if at all you support Arsenal, Man United, and so on and so forth? I sign out for now. See you later. I cover you all in the precious blood of Jesus Christ. Good morning, my mates. Bye-bye.